So, good evening, everybody, and namaskar. Good evening. Good, that's a nice and loud voice. Thank you very much. I know it started late, but it's going to start with the right amount of people, and hopefully, we are all going to go out of this room in the end of the night with a lot more learning in our brains. I think a summit like this brings in people from various capabilities to come into one room and to be able to share and exchange various thoughts that can help us in our own businesses. So thank you very much. I sincerely want to thank Sri Vikram and various people in the council. Many of them were here with us today to have created this thought process and to have helped us in making this happen today. So big round of applause to everybody who made that happen. We are all at a very interesting juncture. I tell this every year at every retail forum because retailers are one of those people who can't ever think that हमने सब सीख लिया है. The minute you think that you've learned everything is when your downfall is guaranteed. At every point of time when we stand, we think, अरे कल तो बीत गया. Now what do I need to do for the आने वाला कल? So that's always the way we all think. There is things that keeps changing all across the world, and we as retailers have to keep changing our capabilities based upon what's happening around the world. And we are responsible for changing the world to the way it is. So sometimes we do things to the world and sometimes the world does things to us. That's what retail is all about. I've got about 3 slides with me. I hope it works. How does this work? Does this work? Next slide. Yeah. So what drives retail today? I think it's important to see how we can learn from what's happening all around us. ये क्या हो रहा है? Excuse me. नहीं है? Next. Okay. Thank you so much. So if you really look at retail from various angles, I've tried to put in a few points. I'm sure many of you have got lots more points in your brains. But definitely digital is changing the way all of us understand retail. Would you all agree to that? Yeah. All around us, customers are getting more digital. The 80-year-olds would, about 7 years before, may not think digital, is now thinking digitally. My mother wants to do things on phone. My mother-in-law wants to do things on phone. Various people have got their grannies doing things on phone. And then life is completely changed for all of us. And therefore, anything that we do has to get into a digital phase. For some retailers who are thinking, baad mein hoga, I think it's getting to be a challenge because the fact is that customers have got digital as much as each one of you wants to do business. The second part of it is about omni-channel. Customers don't think channels. They think, I've got a thing that I want. Where can I get it at the most convenient price and convenient time and methodology? So they're thinking, can I get it online? Can I get it offline? Can I go to the nearby guy? Can I send a WhatsApp message to my next door kirana wala? What is it that I can do to fulfill my requirement? Because as customers, if you close your eyes and think like a customer, it takes time for you to take a decision to buy something. But the minute you've thought you want something, aapko abhi chahiye. That's the way life is, which is one of the reasons why quick commerce is growing at the rate it is growing in this country, because suddenly items are available at the speed of thought. Sometimes you go to the kitchen, you've started cooking and suddenly realize there is no turmeric. You do not stop your business at all. You are continuing your cooking, you at the same time placing an order for turmeric. It's coming into your house. Even before you finished cooking, the item is inside your pan. That's the speed with which retail is happening all around. And I think we'll have to adapt to that. That's the way life is for all of us. Customers' preferences and needs are changing. Customers are trying to make everything as products as fast as possible. So if you think you've got a shirt that's exceptional, before you know everybody else has started the same kind of shirt and it's become a product and it's not anymore a unique item for a customer. The minute it becomes a product, you start reducing the price in your minds, and then unless there is something else that goes with the product or something that enhances the product by virtue of a brand or something, customers will keep looking at it from a much cheaper perspective than what you want to sell it to them at. So this is one of the things that's happening all across. Everything is getting productized. Under these circumstances, experience becomes the center of whatever we do. If we are able to add experience to customers, then they are willing to work with us because you are able to understand them better. I keep giving examples of how a customer may buy a very, very discounted product early in the morning for something that they want today, but the same customer in the afternoon would go to a very high-end shop to procure something which is for a marriage that is to happen at the most luxurious price ever. At that time, price is not the criterion. The same customer, the same day, but behaves very, very differently. How does one track this need of the customer and fulfills the demand is the challenge for retailers as well as people who are using digital means of supplying to customers. Because how do you track the mood of a customer is a very important part, and experience is all-encompassing. Technological advancements are also making things differently. I think it's thanks to technological advancements in many ways that we are all sitting here today. You would think why? Because had it been a traditional method of looking at wars, possibly 2 or 3 of the bombs would have landed in India. But because of the way in which technology was, because of the fact that many of the so-called launched bombs were kind of diffused on air, all of us are able to now sit here today happily because of the technological advancement. So if you look at all the various things that's happening to each one of us, things are definitely changing. Some of them we are able to use, some of them we are not able to use, but the fact is technology is going forward at a very fast pace. And this is not just small technology, it could be technology relevant to the sewage system in your houses, technology relating to the way in which roads are getting laid out. I hear of places where 45 kilometers get laid out overnight, and 45 kilometers of highways. Could have never thought that something like this could happen, but technology is making it happen. So everywhere there is technology that's changing the way we all are doing things. Disposable incomes are definitely changing in this country. I think it's one of those things that that all of us are taking for granted as retailers, because we know that even those customers who were otherwise buying just one ketchup in their houses 10 years before are now filling up their refrigerators with 4 to 5 types of ketchups. How many of you have got more than 3 types of ketchups in your fridges? Yeah. How many of you had more than 3 types 10 years before? So this is what we are going through. The fact is that disposable income, it's not about roti kapda makan, it's about oh wala roti, ye wala kapda, ye wala makan. And that's where the choice comes in. And people want to start thinking, how do we really buy that? So that's changing. So with all these sustainability concerns are coming up all across, although Mr. Trump does not believe in it, at least officially. I think unofficially everybody knows that Trump does not want to pay too much of subsidies to sustainable development of various of the energy sources, because he says anyway it's cheap. Aapko solar energy banana hai to pehle se cheap hai. Why should I give you more subsidy for it? I think he's coming from that point. Sometimes people don't realize what he says to what he does are very different. So that's the way life is for most of us. And I think it's going to change retail quite a bit, because sustainability is there for everywhere. आप हमारे generation में क्या पूछो? At least my generation is different. Some of you here, like Shubhan KG told me, call me Shubhan KG. वो अलग generation है. उसके ऊपर उनके बच्चे हैं, अभी उनका generation और भी अलग है. And they will definitely ask sustainability as one of the requirements. And therefore, sometimes we learn from our kids. I sometimes tell my fellow retailers, if you've got an 8-year-old in your house, please spend more time with that 8-year-old. They will teach you retail, because they will go through their mobile phone the way you've never gone through. The speed with which they go through the mobile phone. They will ask for items in a manner which you'll never even understand many a times. And they'll play games which is definitely not your gilli danda that you used to play. So different methods, but customers are changing and evolving. Next slide. So why is Northeast important? So my thankfulness to all of you who made this happen. I think the fact is that the market potential is grown. All of us on a call now were saying how the potential is growing. The government believes there's a potential growing. As we sit here today, there's a big amount of work happening in Delhi to try and see how can the 7 sisters grow overall to be able to make sure that Northeast becomes important for everybody in this country. So I think that is focus and capability are coming together at the same time. I think for the longest times, there was capability, but there was no focus in Northeast. But now both are coming together, and I believe that up time aa gaya hai for Northeast in this country. Organized retail is also penetrating. Not that you need organized retail to show that retail can grow, but organized retail is an indicator of growth for any place. And therefore, because when people have one store, they can manage it themselves. When they have multiple stores, they have to organize it differently. And that's what is otherwise called as organized retail. जहाँ पर लाला अपने दुकान में गल्ले में नहीं बैठता है, लाला अपने दुकान के गल्ले से बाहर निकल जाता है, तब जाकर के organized retail is created. And I think that's what is happening all across in the Northeast. The infrastructure development is definitely something that's going to help all of us. I do believe that the ability to travel between states and the ability to travel within the state is going to help retail hugely. The digital adoption, we've already spoken about. Attracting investments. आज के दिन में मेरे ख्याल से दिल्ली में कुछ तकरीबन 2 लाख करोड़ रुपया का तो कमिटमेंट हो चुका है अभी तक, आज के दिन में, for Northeast. So you can imagine where things will go. So even if 20-30% of that is coming in the next 2 years, you know you've got a good 20,000 crores dropping into this part of the world, and you can imagine what is going to happen to this whole country, to this whole geography. So this is where we are, and I think the Northeast up time hai. Next slide for me, please. Next slide. So why do we come here and meet up? Yeah, that is the question that we have to answer. We meet up because all of us believe that Northeast ka time aa chuka hai. Am I right? Raise your hands if you feel yes. If you don't feel, do not raise your hands. If 1 or 2 of you have not raised your hands, that means आपको दूसरा कोई देश में कुछ देखना पड़ेगा. Okay. Potential is here, right? We also believe that we can collaborate and win. All of us have come together to be able to collaborate with each other so that we can win together. I have this example that I keep telling people because they say, why do people come to join an association, right? Why do they have to come? Abhi Tata hai, Reliance hai, unko association se kya lena dena hai? They can do a lot of things by themselves. Adani's hai. But the reason they come to an association is because they also believe that while there is competition in the marketplace, at an industry level, they have to collaborate. So unless we can collaborate at an industry level, the market is not getting created. So if all of us come in together, 2 or 2 5 ho sakta hai. But if all of us do not come together, even 2 minus 2 can become negative. So I think we'll have to think about how to make the industry stronger. How can we help in making various things come together so that things can work well. Years ago, I used to be asked in colleges, why should we learn retail? And I said, so that you can become jokers. So people would ask me, "Arey, ye kya bol raha aadmi? Joker bano." Bolta, have you seen a joker do the act of having multiple balls on air? Okay, if you have to be a great joker or a juggler, you've got to continuously keep those balls on air. It should be continuously spinning. None of them should be sitting in your hand at any point of time. At the same time, you can't drop any ball down. रिटेलर्स वैसे हैं, कभी वॉर हो जाता है, कभी कोरोना हो जाता है, तो कभी बाढ़ आ जाता है, तो कभी सूखा पड़ जाता है. देयर आर वेरियस थिंग्स दैट कीप्स हैपनिंग फॉर अस ऑल अराउंड. कभी बहुत सारे लोग छोड़ करके नए कंपटीशन के पास ज्वाइन करते हैं, कभी सप्लायर्स का माल चाइना से आ नहीं रहा है. तो ये सब बहुत सारी चीज़ें होते हैं रिटेल में. बट वी आर ऑल जगलर्स. वी हैव टू लर्न हाउ टू जगल वेरियस बॉल्स टू बी एबल टू मेक श्योर दैट वी डू वेल. कभी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का भाव बढ़ जाता है. So how do you ensure that all the balls are kept in the air and yet you are able to achieve your goal is what we have to do. So I hope that coming together will help us be better jugglers so that we can all win in the market. Thank you very much and I am looking forward to a great time.